Hey, Jack, why do droids have insomnia?
No idea.
They're too wired to fall asleep.
God.
No, nothing.
No.
All right. Well, hello, explorers. I am Jimmy, fresh back from Rebel Scum Con. You are listening to episode 117. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back. If you like what you hear, make sure you rate us on your podcast choice provider of choice. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends about us.
And as always, welcome back or welcome along if you're new. I'm Charlie, and let's start with you, Jimmy, because you have been traveling, you have been up, down, left, right, all the way to Yeehaw, Texas. How are you doing?
I'm tired as heck. I literally pulled in the driveway, walked in, kissed my wife, grabbed my backpack, came downstairs, plugged in my laptop, and here we go. So, and it's been a fun weekend, but yeah, I had nothing to complain. Friday, I left. Yeah, we'll get into it, but yeah, I'm good. So, what about you, Jackie boy?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired as well. I've just got off a long walk. Got the in-laws that have come over from the UK to Canada, obviously. So I've been hosting them. So yeah, a little bit tired, but I know as well we're all tired. We've all been and doing things. Charlie, what's been going on with you?
Well, finally, after 6 months of absolute living hell, I am now the proud owner of a whole house. I've been in it. I've been up and down the stairs. I've been in and out the garden. It's ours. We have the keys. And we move in a couple of days, which is absolutely crazy. So this is the last time. I need a minute because this might get a bit emotional. This will be the last time I ever record a podcast in this house. This house is where I started podcasting during lockdown many, many years ago. Um, every podcast that I've been on, every episode has been from this room or one of the rooms upstairs, and it's going to be so nice to have a space set up where I can showcase all of the cool stuff that I have, because I feel like you guys, as our viewers and our listeners, haven't seen or heard even the half of the insane amount of nerd stuff that I have in my collection. And I honestly can't wait to show that to you all. So, next week's episode, I will be in the new house. I may still be surrounded by boxes, so don't have your hopes set too high. But we'll manage. We'll manage.
We will indeed. Now, last week I asked people what did George Lucas initially go to call Luke for his surname. Obviously, it was Luke Starkiller, running with the theme of last week's episode. So, congrats to Solo's biggest fan on this
Wait a minute.
week's correct answer. So, this week's question, again, related to the show: what is the name of Gina Carano from The Mandalorian? Charlie, we've missed you, obviously. What fun fact have you got for us this week?
And it ain't no lie for this week's fun fact. Did you know that members of NSYNC were supposed to be in Attack of the Clones as Jedi fighting in the Battle of Geonosis, but production said bye to their cameo so they wouldn't have to pay SAG-AFTRA fees?
Oh my god, I can't believe that. That's
That is
crazy.
insane. That is an insane one. Right, let's go return to this week's Force Encounters.
For my ally is the Force.
All right, so Force Encounters. I feel like I've done so much Star Warsing this week. I mean, I am Star Wars, I guess. So,
Love it.
I'm halfway through. Was it the Crystal Crown, which is Jeki and Yord from the Acolytes, the little adventure. It's been. I will just say this. I'm not going to spoil. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's Star Wars meets the Hunger Games, kind of.
Ooh.
But I'm still like in the action part, so I don't know.
Texting the missus.
Yeah, I haven't gotten like into. I don't know what's going on yet. I just been just action, and then on the way down to Texas, once again, I was listening to a Star Wars book narrated by the great Mark Thompson, and it was Bad Batch Sanctuary, and it has been so good. So much fun. Mark Thompson, like I said, he hits the voices pretty well. It's like watching the animated series. Even his Omega and Phi are pretty decent, for being a burly white man trying to do Wanda Sykes and tick, right? So there's that. Then of course I just spent the last 3 days with a tons of Star Wars fans at Rebel Scum Con Year 2, hosted by Order 66 Toys, Bobby, Josh, and Kentucky kind of leading that charge. And we'll be doing some stuff like next week probably, and there'll be some footage coming out this week as well where I got to meet a ton of people. I had some really cool experiences.
Nice.
I got to meet Cyril, and he laughed his butt off at the photo that I'm going to post later on. I was worried that he wouldn't do it and it was going to be dumb, but I've gotten really good feedback from it, so I'll post that hopefully this week. But yeah, it's been, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to top this week for a while, to be honest with you. Like, it's been a lot of Star Wars, and then I got to, so. But yeah, really, really good week for me. Lots of great Force encounters. Met so many people too. I don't want to leave them out. If you haven't gone cons before, I've met a bunch of new people down there at RSC. Manny and Robbie, people that I knew. We got to spend a ton of time with Tiara. Like, we were like brother and sister down there. It was so much fun. Kind of like her big brother, and selling her to everybody, like, oh, you got to check her out, stuff like that, like her stuff. And then just so much goodness and so much love for Star Wars. It's just fun to be around. And just met a ton of new people, made a ton of new friends. And I hand out all of Charlie's stickers. So that was exciting too. So what'd you guys do, Jackie boy?
Well, I've been enjoying my Star Wars comics that my loving daughter had brought me. To the Vader's Castle one, I started on that one. It's quite different actually from anything I've read. It's more of a horror theme. But yeah, mate, I've been watching you on your travels as well, and it looks amazing. Big shout out to Tiara, her costumes, her Padme one as well. Oh my god, insane! I love her Inquisitor one as well. Like, she's been absolutely killing it. So if you're listening, Tiara, you've smashed them out the park. Go on, Jimmy.
She just keeps improving them and then improving her skills. And she did a panel. Her panel was so good. She did it with the Lady of the Lake Country, and they were amazing. We started following her on social media, so you check her out. Her cosplay is great. But yeah, Tiara was she's like, oh, I don't know, but I mean, phenomenal. People stop, and I felt like her handler the whole time. Like, I was just walking around like, you want a photo? Come on, come get a photo. You want a photo? Come get a photo. Like,
brilliant.
It was awesome.
Brilliant. So, a big shout out to Jess as well. She moderated one of the panels
Jess
as well.
did. Nilda did. Like, all of our everyone, all of our friends were just doing good things at Rebel ScumCon, and thanks to those guys for asking them to do it and giving them that platform to spread good Star Warsiness. Because
that's been my Force encounter, really. It's just watching you, mate, living the dream for all of us.
Yeah.
Next year, buddy. Next year.
Yeah. What about you, Charlie?
So, other than dying from FOMO at watching Jimmy at Rebel Scum Con, also, Jess, I'm so super duper proud of you. I really hope there's video of that panel. I really want to watch it. It's been so much fun to watch Jimmy getting to have all of these experiences and do all of this stuff. My Force encounter this week is a little bit smaller and a little bit more just kind of social media contained, but I recently joined a new cosplay group on Facebook for Star Wars cosplayers, and I shared some of my Rey costume photos and some of my hero photos, and my hero photos went absolutely crazy mad. I think it has something silly like over like 400 likes now, which is bonkers. Massive thank you to every single person that's liked it, shared it, messaged me, commented on it, gone over to my Instagram to follow me. Like, it means so much. Like, I'm just, honestly, I'm sat here in some Leku and some green face paint, and you all seem to love it so much. So thank you, genuinely. Yeah, my Force encounters was getting close to the Star Wars community this week, so I can't knock that.
Nice. Beautiful stuff. Absolutely love it. Okay, let's head over to Batu then and see what news we've got coming out of there.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000.
For those who are among the 900 with news media or promotional tickets, this sneak preview probably will be the only chance to see the Empire.
Right, so listen, I know I've just told everybody that I bought my house, but I can't. Guys, listen, guys, I kind of already want to sell it so I can fund my bidding war for Darth Vader's actual lightsaber. Everybody buckle in, because starting September the 4th through the 6th, the screen used prop from The Empire Strikes Back of Darth Vader's iconic lightsaber is used and is going on auction at the well-known propstoreauction.com, and is estimated to hit anywhere between 1 million and 7 million Great English pounds. So if anybody wants to help me buy it, then please send funds to Explore the Force. We do also have a Venmo. Thank you.
That's insane, but it's well worth it. Like, this is a piece of Star Wars history, arguably
7
the best Star
million.
Wars movie ever made as well. Like, if I had a spare 10 mil, 100%, I'd put that in for the bid. What about you guys?
Oh my gosh. First off, I want a job where I can have an extra $1 million to $7 million just to blow on that. But I'd be obnoxious if I had that kind of money.
For conversion purposes, that is about $9.5 million.
Insane. That's insane. And some of the other props as well. Obviously, we were talking about Darth Vader's actual lightsaber, but they've also got, I've seen on there, Indiana Jones's whip as well. Like, come
That's awesome.
on. But people like
Oh
me
my goodness.
should
What
not have
does
these things.
money go to? Like, I mean, I
That's
know
a great question.
prop stores auctions probably get something for doing this, but like,
Yeah.
like where did they
Mhm.
find this prop? Right? Like, where did they get it? Who gave it to them? Like, is it Lucasfilm's like, hey, auction this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know, like,
Yeah,
I kind of want to know, like,
you imagine
Yeah.
you imagine you being the person that's made that prop.
well, I mean, your intellectual right. I mean, you know, you work for a company, everything you produce for them is theirs. So,
Mm.
I've got to look into that. We need to look into that. That's some great questions there, Jimmy.
yeah. Speaking of lots of millions of dollars, that kind of leads us nicely into the
Nice
next
segue.
topic.
Nice
Charlie's
segue.
super excited to talk about this one too. So after I read it, Charlie's going to go first.
Ooh.
The battle between Gina Carano and Walt Disney is finally over, as both parties announced an out-of-court agreement had been settled. Since 2001, she was warned about her social media post. However, one social media post pushed Disney to terminate her contract. This also, rumor has it, included her lead, or sorry, this also got her lead role as, why can't I think of her name? Why can't I think of her character's name?
Cara Dune.
Yeah, Cara Dune. My gosh,
Cara Dune.
Cara
It's been
Dune.
a long weekend. Come on,
It's been
mate.
a long
You've been
weekend,
able to
folks.
focus on.
There were a couple Cara Dunes this weekend too, by the way. So like that
Popular
hasn't really
character.
diminished. But so they basically, she got fired supposedly for this. She lost out on, it was going to be Marshals, Republic Marshals or whatever.
Yeah, the spin-off series.
I'm
Yeah.
doing a great
Mhm.
job with knowing facts today, folks. I
She was
apologize.
basically what Jimmy's trying to say is she was supposed to have a lead role in the spin-off series as a character, Cara Dune.
Marshals
obviously
of the New
now-
Republic.
Yes,
That's
yes.
it. My brain is slow.
There we
That's the
go.
one.
So,
there.
Charlie, how do you feel about this new information?
I mean, I would argue that it feels like it doesn't amount to much of anything. This is Disney doing what they need to do to get her to shut up and back down and go away. I don't think they're going to offer her anything. The opinions she expressed via social media, which I won't go into, obviously, were nothing short of horrific. And I fully believe the camp that she deserved to lose her job. And unfortunately, sometimes there's this thing called consequences to your actions. And I think all of this is Disney going, fine, have your money, go away. Maybe we'll give you another show. Maybe we'll give you your role back. But I think, Disney drew the lines, and I don't think they're going to let her cross them again. Like, I really don't think that's a possibility. This feels like the most amicable way out of it, in my opinion.
Imagine the mess that was season 3 of the Mando, but with Cara Dune in it. Like,
Yeah.
it would have just been even messier, I think. And that's not necessarily her fault.
Yeah.
I've never thought
No.
she's a great actor. I think she is a really good action star. I don't think that her line
Yes.
delivery and things like that. So, like, we didn't really,
We
and I
didn't
get
lose
into all that.
anything.
Yeah, when we get into all the political side of things and stuff like that. But like, if I said some crazy stuff, I could be let go at teaching, for being a teacher and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't want to get into all
Mhm.
that, but Yeah, I think you're right that this seems like the easiest way to make it go away and be done with it.
Now we
Yeah.
made a post about this on Instagram, and every single person pretty much said no. So we got, I like that Wookiee said 0 chance. As it's literally just legal speak. They're under no obligation to offer her work, so I get that. Bashuda 1977 said nah, she's not that important to the stories, and she's made a bed. Sam in the City 79, shout out to you, Sam, said no. And obviously the face of the podcast,
Wait.
Mike the Mailman, said not a chance in hell. I disagree with all these at the minute. Go on,
I'd
Charlie.
also
Oh, go
I'd
ahead,
also
Charlie.
like to point out, Sam in the City, for people who aren't aware, is like the first female stormtrooper in Star Wars. She is an absolute badass. I love her to pieces. She's one of my absolute faves, and it was really encouraging to see her step forward as like a stronger kind of present female presence in Star Wars. To be like, no.
So I think they will. I think she's going to make an appearance personally. I don't think they'll just back this off
The
completely. Whether it's like a
backlash.
cameo,
Oh
whether
God.
it's I can 100% see this happening. Even if it's something in animation, I think there'll be some form,
No.
some mention, something. That's my thoughts.
I feel like it would be too convoluted. Like, where were you last season, kind of thing. So I'm going to respectfully disagree, but I mean,
Yeah.
I just think there's too much. She'll go away now, and that'll be it. I mean, there was not a real clamor. I mean, I don't know. It's hard though, because like our circles of people were like, yeah, we want rid of her. Like after, like, yeah, go Disney. So I don't know what the other side's thinking. Like, hey, do we want her back? You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's not a fair assessment. Like, people who follow us are going to be kind of a certain way of thinking, like they
Yeah.
respect people. And so when people say mean things,
Yeah,
but
thank you.
I think that it's like, and the reason I disagree with Jack is I just think it's like too complicated to bring her back now.
Yeah.
Does
No,
that
I
make
get that.
sense? Like,
Yeah, on even
I
like
get
a
that.
logistical level.
But at the same time, God bless his soul, Carl Weathers is no longer with us.
yeah.
So they're going to need a high marshal.
Oh. What about Cobb Van? Oh, he's on that. He's on Navarre. Never mind.
Yeah. So who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's my train of
It'll be
thoughts.
interesting.
Yes, indeed. And interesting as well. So there's more rumors about Star Wars Starfighter this week. Obviously, we've had Mia Goth rumored to be joining the show, and also the incredible Matt Smith. Now, it says maybe joining, but these rumors are pretty much gaining traction every day. And I've read he's going to be joining as a military general of some description. Obviously, Matt Smith, for those that have been living under a rock, is a well-known actor, starring quite recently in the House of Dragon stuff. He also was in Doctor Who and also Morbius as well. And he plays the evil general or evil character really, really well. Why? Because he's British, and all the best evil actors are normally British. But I think this is an incredible casting if this is to happen. I cannot wait for this. I just hope we don't go down the route of General Hux. However, I have faith. What do you guys think? Let's start with you, Charlie.
Me, I'm a huge fan of Matt Smith. I think he's a fantastic actor. He's really, really good in Doctor Who, brilliant in the House of Dragon, plays that kind of cool, clean English spoken bad guy so, so well. And I love that this is a trope that George established really on with the original trilogy. And it's something that obviously, because he was using studios in the UK, so he only had access to UK actors. This is why all the bad guys are English. And this trope
have another
has
theory.
influenced such a huge amount of cinema across like ever since the original trilogy came out. And I love that Star Wars still leans on, we're going to have our bad guys be Brits. Let's go.
And he can use a
Also,
sword
Mia
slash
Goth is
lightsaber.
also a sensational actor. She's going to be incredible.
Preach. What you got to say, Jimmy?
Well, I think this is fantastic. It's funny to me, though, that we've gone this route in this movie where Star Wars used to all be about finding the unknown and plucking them from obscurity and making them into Daisy Ridleys and Han Solo, into Harrison Fords. But I'm also like, how can you complain about the cast of this if it's true? And that, I mean, House of Dragons, he's a shining part of that. I mean, I know people weren't happy with the way it ended. This last season, not really the directors or the writers' fault, mostly HBO. But I think this is huge, and I have to say this, and I've said it before on this show, and I know you guys are going to be mad at me given where you both call home, but I know that the Empire dresses like Nazis, but the British Empire is the only place that the sun never set on. I really think you dress like the iconic Nazis. They were like this big bad in our actual history. But if you look historically, your tiny little island, and it still baffles me to this day how such a small little island conquered the entire world at one point.
Influence, Jimmy.
Like an
Influence.
empire.
Influence.
So, I mean, I know how you did it as a history teacher. It just still boggles my mind.
Yeah.
But I think that
Lonely
George
living.
just combined these two things and turned, but yeah, I think Matt Smith will do a great job being a military leader,
Yeah.
and that Empire is really based off Great Britain.
Yeah. Nice. Right. Let's fly into the next bit of news. What have we got, Charlie?
Oh,
Very good, very good. Japan's largest airline has confirmed that its two Star Wars themed jets, the R2D2 and the C3PO jet, will cease operations in the coming months. The tie-up between the Star Wars movie franchise and All Nippon Airways (ANA) will come to an end in March 2026. The airline announced in a statement on August the 4th, 25. As a result of this, one of ANA's most iconic liveries, alluding to the popular R2D2 robot, which is painted on the fuselage of a Boeing 7879 aircraft, will fly for the last time on August 6th. So it has already flown. Godspeed, good plane. The last flight of the R2D2 jet is from Washington to Tokyo, as it's expected to take off at 12:15 local time. I don't know if anyone's ever had the pleasure of traveling on one of these absolutely beautiful jets, but they are stunning. Like, they're absolutely gorgeous. I think it's crazy that there's two BB-8 ones as well. There's R2D2, there's C3PO. It's quite a popular thing in Japan to have themed travel. I think there's like a Hello Kitty train and a Pokemon train, and
Yeah.
I had hoped to at least see these when we were in Japan, like when we
Yeah,
were landed
same.
or taking off. Like, I didn't think, because I didn't know what airline it was, but I was like, man, I really hope I see that plane. Like, that would be so cool.
They missed a trick with that. I think they should have put that into circulation. You know, people flying in and out from Celebration in Japan.
I think some people did get to fly the C3PO plane. I remember seeing that on the Celebration groups. A few people appeared at the airport and got to go on that one.
Damn,
I know.
I flew to China
Because
first.
it's not just the outside that's decorated, it's the inside as well. Like,
I
all
didn't
of
know
the
that.
seats, all of the things on the back of the seats are themed.
I'd have tried taking something with me.
Just snatching a headrest
Of
or
course
something.
you would.
Yeah, or just cut something out the seat.
Jack is banned from international flight because he's stealing stuff from the airplanes.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sure they'd have been happy to piece it all together. Segue.
Oh my gosh, Jack. Okay, Lego, look at the last bit of news. As you know, it's my second bad joke of the day. Look at the last bit of news. As you know, I am a big, giant Star Wars fan, and I'm a big, giant Lego fan. Therefore, I love the Lego Star Wars. And there's been all these rumors. I've been watching videos the last, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 weeks. It seems to really, like, I don't always pay attention to this stuff, but it seems to be like it's in my feed. It's in all these things, So I'm like, all right, what is this $1,000 Lego set?
Yeah.
And then finally photos, but you just don't know if it's AI generated. This one looks really good.
It looks legit.
I mean, it looks real. I don't know if it looks really good for $1,000. I guess I should be careful how I say that. This is a big deal. The first set to cost $1,000. I don't know if that's like a good thing for collectors. Like, the prices are going up, or is it really worth $1,000? Because is it going to have more pieces than, like, I'm sitting here looking at the Millennium Falcon UCS sitting in its box with 7,500.
So it's got more pieces. This apparently has got over 9,000. It's like 9,023 pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I've seen those photos, it looks amazing, but that'll be the third Death Star, and this is not like it's like a ship that you can, like, fourth.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's
insane.
I don't know. It's insane. I think we spoke about it numerous times. I would definitely do something about it. But is Star Wars just more? Is Star Wars merchandise leaning more towards adults and children? I think personally, yes. And like I mentioned, this is the fourth Death Star now. So 2005. There was one, and it was 3,449 pieces. 2008, 3,803 pieces. 2016, 4,016 pieces, and now 2025. Yeah, we're at the 9,000 mark. Ridiculous price for $1,000. The largest Lego Star Wars set to date. Very, very expensive. How do people afford things like this, especially if your kids are massively into Lego?
I would
Yeah,
never buy a child. I remember,
That's
I think I
good.
bought my nephews before they were really into it, a quad jumper. And I got so mad because like it was together for like 5 seconds and then it was in pieces and they lost stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a kid $1,000 Lego set. I'm not buying a kid a $25 Lego set for just to get crumbled. And
the thing is that it's like the Falcon's still floating around anyway. It's not like that's completely sold out.
that has been rumored to be getting
Stopped in
retired for
circulation.
years now.
It's
Because
not.
that's one of the reasons I pulled the trigger was the rumors being so strong. I'm like, I'm going to buy it now before, because you know, as soon as it retires, it's going to like double, triple in price. I mean, there was a economics guy. He was talking and he said, if you really want to invest in something, invest in Lego and then resell, because you always get your money back and then some. If you can wait for stuff to be retired, you can double and triple what you spent. And it's not like it's like Funko Pops where they lose their value and things like that. Like Lego just keeps going up. So, but I'm a little bit worried about the prices of these last couple sets that have come out, because I know we're covering the Death Star, the first $1,000 set, but there's a lot of controversy on some of the sets that are coming out here a little bit that are kind of wonky, and the prices are like, you know, and these Lego collectors, they know this stuff. They know it inside out and backwards. And like, this should be $120, but it's $160. You know, this should be this, and you know, based off the history of the sets, and not just Star Wars. So it makes me a little bit nervous that these prices are going up. We'll see what happens with other things. So, but yeah, expensive. I can't say that I'll try to talk Molly into this one. I'm not saying that I'm not going to try to talk Molly into it. I'm just saying that right now I'm leaning on, I'm good.
Yeah, no. Okay, that wraps up then this week's news. Let's head over to this week's main show. Okay, so for the main show, we are covering Mortis. Now we're going to do a little bit of a Mortis recap with our voiceover specialist. Let me just grab him. Mystery on Mortis. Sent to discover the origin of a mysterious distress call, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and his Padawan, Ahsoka Tano, are stranded on a distant planet. There, they discover three beings more powerful with the Force than any Jedi have seen before. A father keeps a fragile balance between his daughter, who allies with the light side, and the son, who drifts ever closer to the dark. With his strength falling, the father asks Anakin to stay and take his place, preserving the balance between light and dark. But after passing a perilous test, Skywalker refuses. Now we find our heroes about to depart for their journey home, or so they think. Okay, thank you to the special voiceover actor that I
We
brought
had
in.
to pay extra for that.
I know, right?
I don't know if it's in our budget for such a good voiceover.
Yeah, I think we're good. But anyway, that's the recap of the Mortis arc. Now, me, Jimmy, and Taylor, but more Jimmy and Taylor covered it back in episode 24. So if you want to go back, have a quick recap of the whole Mortis stuff, then feel free. But we've still got lots to dive into. Where are we going with this?
So, everybody cast your ears back to last week. I know it's been a long week. I know we're all very tired. It's been very busy. Last week we were talking about Sam Witwer, Starkiller, his possible appearance in Ahsoka season 2. Is he the son? Is he not the son? And obviously we couldn't talk about this without talking about Mortis, but goodness me, did we run out of time, because if there's one thing I will do, it is talk incessantly about Sam Witwer. Confirmed, actually, like confirmed. So now I think we need to recap. Obviously, we've all watched the Mortis arc. I rewatched it today. I think it is highly reasonable to start this discussion off with, are we going to see the Mortis arc in season 2 of Ahsoka? Yes or no? Who would like to take the floor?
Go, Jimmy. Go for it, mate.
My gosh. Can I say yes or no if I want it in Star Wars? I think that there's going to be pieces of it in Ahsoka season 2. I don't know if we're getting a full fleshed out the son, the father, or the daughter, and then people still talk about Abeloth and all that. Because I'm going to say I'm leaning closer to yes, but not like the full thing. I think we're going to get like pieces of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know how they do that, but yeah, what do you guys think?
Go on, Charlie.
I obviously I came into the Ahsoka season with not the hugest amount of kind of back knowledge of the Clone Wars. I still haven't watched, or I can't say that I've watched all of the episodes, nor do I have the connection to it that a lot of people I know do have. But I recognise the seeds that Filoni's been sowing over the season, and the kind of in other stories and other related projects where he seems kind of really, really fascinated still by these ideas of like Mortis and the characters and the father, the son, and the daughter. I rewatched the episodes today, like I said earlier, and I found it really interesting that I always kind of assumed they were like gods. Not necessarily. It's kind of implied by a lot of the language, especially in the first episode of the arc, that actually they are just these beings with excessive force power, and they have chosen to exile themselves for the safety of everybody else. I'm sure that's really obvious to people who have watched these many, many times, but I feel like there's still some really interesting ideas to play out, and almost the approach to the Mortis arc. I feel like there's been such improvement in the writers since then. I feel like these ideas could be tackled really differently with this, and obviously I love the idea that Ahsoka is the daughter, Anakin is the father, and whoever the son is, big question mark. I understand now why people were connecting that with Starkiller.
Yeah, I think there's definitely scope in it. The more I've looked into this, again, I've watched the last couple of episodes of it as well. Am I right in thinking that he asked obviously Anakin to join the Sun side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, didn't the girl sacrifice herself to save Ahsoka? Yeah.
So initially, the father requests that Anakin takes his place to keep his children in balance. Anakin takes the father's place because, as the chosen one, they feel that that's Anakin's destiny and that he should step away from his destiny of being Vader. That's partly why they show it to him. And sort of doesn't the son try to kill the father, but the daughter steps in the way,
Yeah.
so she dies. Yeah, there we
So
go. There we go.
This is my point, because that life force transfers into Ahsoka. So my theory for this Mortar stuff, it's huge because it's the whole thing of light and dark, and it's not so much confirmed it's Sith and Jedi. That's totally different, I think, because this is the religion now they're talking about, not the classes, etc. So I think Ahsoka is going to take over the light side eventually. I think that's why that Mora is following around, the owl or the bird-like creature.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
think potentially Balon is going to end up being the sun. That's why I think we could be heading with this.
Interesting.
Purely because when I watch this again, like I say, a lot of the daughter's energy was transferred into Ahsoka, and I think Dave Filoni would find it hard for Ahsoka to die, put bluntly.
Yeah, she's not going out with the
Yeah.
lightsaber stab to the gut. I mean,
No.
I always thought she was going to be a Bendu, because I'm still convinced that the Bendu was a position, not a person. But I can see, Jack, you bring up a really, really good point, that they have set up the fact that Ahsoka does kind of have that life essence of the daughter. And so I don't know. This is my problem, though. And you guys tell me if I'm wrong. We haven't had, like, I love Baylan Skoll. I love that character. But I don't know if he has the resume, from what we know as fans, to step into the role of the father or the son. Does that make sense? Because like Anakin, it made sense because we know where his trajectory is and how powerful he's going to be. So it made sense. And that was also like, oh, maybe they said about the chosen one. It meant this and not about being Vader. Like maybe we were all wrong. And so that makes sense to me. But yeah, I wonder if we've had enough time with like Shin and Baylan for them to successfully make this work as a move. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So we need to see I think a darker side of Balon, essentially, which I think we're going to get, because the only roots I can see down there at the minute is he's not a full Sith. hence the color of his lightsaber.
I don't.
He's
Yeah,
not.
I
See,
think
But
he's not
I
even
think
a Jedi anymore. I think he's out of
no,
that.
yeah,
I think he's his
yeah,
own thing.
yeah, I agree. And I think for him to take that final step to
I
becoming
think he
the
might get
son,
possessed or something, but
I think he'll kill Shin, and I think that's when everyone will be like, oh my god.
I don't know.
ooh,
They could have some fun with this.
Yeah,
I don't know, like, and then this is going to open up a lot. I mean, I know they think about this stuff and they talk about this stuff, and they have, they have Pablo Hidalgo, and they have the story group, and they have Dave, and he has people,
mm,
Athena, oh my gosh, what is her last name? It's AP, the woman who was AP5 basically in his real life.
Yeah.
They don't do anything without each other. Like Dave gets all the credit, but he's openly talked about, like, without his team, he's nothing. So, and that's the reason they're in charge of Lucasfilm and we're not. So maybe they have an idea. Maybe they have a plan. I mean, he's been thinking about this for years and years and years. So I don't know, Charlie. Something's cooking up there, Charlie. I see it.
there is something cooking indeed. There's a couple of things cooking actually. Like I said earlier, watching the Mortis arc back now makes me realize that a lot of these ideas were unfinished. There is some really, really good stuff in here that fits so beautifully with kind of the canon and the path and the energy of Star Wars and what we understand about Star Wars, and especially concepts around the Force. I do not think Dave or the writing team were developed enough in those ideas to put something out with the Clone Wars. Like, yes, it's impactful. Yes, people talk about it being kind of one of the most important story arcs. It is still lacking. Like, the writing is lacking a level of maturity, and I think it's only fair to come back and re-tackle those ideas with a
Yeah.
mature Ahsoka, a mature Baylan. I think it's a really interesting thing to suggest that we cast two of the most probably morally. I know Dylan. I'm sorry, Dylan. Just cosplays. You're going to batter me for listening to this. I think it's really interesting to potentially put two of the most morally grey characters in Star Wars in positions of complete polar oppositeness, of light and dark, of true light and true dark. Like, there's there's definitely something to be said for the maturing of these ideas and the maturing of Dave as a writer and Ahsoka as a character. So I think he has to do something with the Mortis arc. There are too many links and connections. We also need to talk about how clearly the Mortis arc in Clone Wars is happening in the World Between Worlds, and we get so much World Between Worlds stuff in Ahsoka. All of it's connected. All of it feeds back into itself. So I would like to, I think, say I'm happy to eat my hat with mustard if I'm incorrect. I 100% think we're going to get something related to the Mortis arc in Ahsoka season 2. Now, how that breaks down, I don't have a foggy.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think that we're getting parts of it. I think how could we not if they have the statues? I mean, like, I think it's obvious
Yeah,
that we're getting
exactly.
it. Just like,
So many of
what
those
are we
visual
getting?
things.
Yeah, like, what are we getting? Like, but it could also be we're in a different galaxy, right? So I sometimes we forget about that being in Peridia. I mean, is that where they were? Is that
Yeah.
like you're in a different galaxy? Is the Father, the Son, and the Daughter, is that like their gods or something to all those night witches?
Yeah.
So there's all this potential. I mean, they could definitely throw curveballs at us, and they'll do a good job. They're going to have to explain this very, very well, because even the biggest Star Wars fans
Yeah.
are a little bit foggy, and we all have. And that's the fun thing about Star Wars for most of us, because we can agree to disagree, or we can, like, feed off each other. But like, they all have their take of what Mortis really meant. But yeah, I mean, for sure that's going to be there, I think.
Yeah,
So.
they've just got to be super careful, because obviously it is a glass ceiling or glass floor, if you like, literally. So they've got to get it right, because it can impact so many different stories as well.
Yes to the Mortis arc in Ahsoka, where I think we're happy and settled on that. Do we think Ahsoka is going to be the daughter? I'm assuming with the owl, with absorbing the daughter's energy to come back to life. That makes the most logical sense. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I think
Oh,
that would be easier for Dave to be like, she's not dead, she's exiled.
Jimmy, that's a nice face.
I don't want it to happen, because I want her to be a Bendu, but
Oh,
I think that
okay.
Jack is probably right. This gives Dave the ability to bring her back whenever he wants. She can be a Force ghost type person. She can present herself to people if she
Yeah.
needs to in the future. He never has to say she is gone if this happens, because she can. I mean, although the daughter did die, but I'm saying, like, if they reincarnate those three spirits or whatever, with one of them being Ahsoka, Jack is probably spot on when it's like, this gives Dave
It's perfect.
the chance that, like, she never has to
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah. In that realm, years class as seconds anyway. So again, it could tie in
Yeah.
later in Starfighter, for example, so many years, 5 years after Rise Skywalker, she appears still so youthful, still looks like Rosario Dawson's not aged, and that's
Yeah.
why, because 8 years over there is seconds. Such an easy, not easy. I'd say it's more of a realistic approach in a fantasy universe to be able to, describe something or explain something.
Mm.
So yeah, that's what I'm going for with that.
Excellent points, everybody. The second thing I wanted to kind of put to everybody was, so this brings us kind of full circle to our conversation last week. Sam Witwer voices the son in the Mortis arc. I would like to say I think he is the best bit of those 3 episodes. His vocal performance is sensational. He is absolutely chewing that scenery, if that is possible to do inside a voice recording booth. He's fantastic. He's absolutely fantastic. You can hear so many kind of essences of other characters. Like, there's so much kind of Maul in there, and it's delightful to watch and indulge in. Do you think if they bring in the son, I know he died, I'm aware of this. If they brought the son into live action, would you want to see an exact kind of replica from the Clone Wars episodes as Sam Witwer playing that in real life? What do you guys think?
Go, Jimmy.
Yes, I think I would want Sam doing that as the son, like, make him look as much like the character from the animated series as
Yeah.
possible. I mean, no one else. I mean, I don't want anyone else doing his voice. He talked about this a lot this weekend, actually, about how it's funny because we know we're talking Starkiller, we're talking the son, but Starkiller got him his work as the son because of David Collins and Matthew Wood. Were like, oh, this guy. There's actually an interview. I'm going to post this. I think I got this on tape. In an interview, he was defending Clone Wars, and they're like, oh, this guy who's doing Force Unleash gets it. Like, he gets Star Wars. He gets why we're doing this. So they brought him up to voice the son. And then, of course, that is that. And now he's Sam Witwer of Star Wars. But yes, I would prefer to see him playing that character. I really wish that he would get his face on the screen, because he is a good actor, not just a good voice actor.
Yeah.
It would be a pretty intense way to do it. So yes, I'm all for Sam Witwer being the son, looking like the son as much as possible. That'll take some work, but yeah.
And he gets it as well. If anyone's going to understand something so complex and something that's super important, then you want not just your let's say your best actor, but your most knowledgeable one about a series to do something as important as this.
Oh, he was rattling stuff off.
Exactly, he's a
like,
walking archive himself.
this, and it's not just Star Wars. He knows Star
I
Trek that
love
way.
it.
He knows, like,
Yeah,
it was the guy is so smart, like, and just so.
but he's got all the makings. You know, he's also advised Dave Filoni before. There's that clip that goes around,
He has.
So
Ron Howard as well in Solo.
yeah.
So I mean, there's lots of things,
Mhm.
but I don't think I see what we're doing number 3 here. I don't think it works for that. I think it works as him being the son. So we'll see.
But again, like we've said in the last week's episode, he needs to be nerfed. He needs to be cooled down a little bit, so to speak. On our socials, people have seen it. Everyone's split literally down the middle, but everyone pretty much agrees that if he does appear, he does need nerfing.
You mean if he appears as Starkiller?
If he appears as Starkiller, as the son, as a secret Vader apprentice, which the more I think about it, now I've had like the week to cool down from the excitement of that conversation. I've fully sat here and been like, what? That is ridiculous.
But then at the same time, who in the Star Wars universe could tame Starkiller? Probably would be Ahsoka, in my opinion. Or even Luke.
This is the thing. She has faced off and survived against like some of the greatest Sith and Jedi in the galaxy.
Or
So
even
hell
both.
yeah.
Imagine that battle.
I think ultimately, yes to the Mortis arc, yes to expanding these ideas into live action.
Yeah.
Even if they don't resurrect the original character designs, and we're literally having this straight kind of like essence swap of the essence of the son in this character and the essence of the daughter in this character.
Yeah.
I would kill to see Starkiller. I would kill more to see Sam Witwer have the role of the son specifically, or just a new character entirely that's some kind of wonderful mashup of the best parts of all of these characters. I don't even know at this point. Just let the man have his time on the stage and shine, because the fans love him, the community loves him, Star Wars loves him. He obviously loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
I feel like we're missing a trick here. So yes, see Sam. Yes, have all of that. That would be so fantastic. But I do have a kind of another suggestion. So Jason Isaacs voices the Grand Inquisitor in Rebels, and he was also supposed to play the Grand Inquisitor in Kenobi, like in live action, just swap it straight over. But he wasn't able to due to scheduling conflicts. If we do see the son appear in Ahsoka season 2, it would be kind of nice to see Isaacs play that role, since the Grand Inquisitor and the son look shockingly similar in appearance. I promise you, if you Google this, you can find 100 Reddit threads of fans discussing that they're actually the same character. It's all connected. I would die to see Sam, but that also feels kind of full circle, and I think would kind of make more sense. I don't know at this point. It's a mystery.
It's a really good point, and obviously it's something as well that Dave Filoni hinted at, these visual parallels looking like each other. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not. I think it was mentioning like it's not meant to be the son reborn either. But like you said, the uncanniness, the looks. Is this another Dave Filoni trying to bat us off the path? What do you reckon, Jimmy?
I could see Jason being the father. Like, you imagine with his voice and that whole Drake, or not Draco, but the Malfoy kind of presence that he can bring.
Mm-hmm.
He's I mean, I don't want to just pigeonhole him in that, but he can bring a really good, strong, and he could be like that balance. I think he's probably too old. I mean, I can do all kinds of stuff with CGI and stuff now, but I feel like he would be the father before he would be the son to me for some reason.
Seth?
Jason, yeah. And then you could bring Sam in, although Sam is 50 years old too, so it's not like he's a spring chicken either.
He
But
certainly doesn't look it.
no, he does not look it. But I would be down for Jason and Sam and Rosario to be like the new trio. Like, that would be a pretty sick trio.
Yeah.
And then you just have them in your back pocket if you need them, like depending on how this goes and where this goes, how much we're getting into it, or if we're just getting like ghost of them running around. Because remember, like in Rebels, where like Ezra and Kanan are they raise that temple on Lothal, and they go down in and they see like Yoda, and they see different. Like, I think the Grand Inquisitor shows himself to, like, Kanan has to deal with the Grand Inquisitor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we're going to get like Balin and Shin, and maybe Ahsoka and Sabine all kind of converging into the same place, like to wherever the father's pointing or whatever he's doing, and they get in there. Balin's being called by something. We can't forget that. So something is calling to him to come there. And you also, this is for you, Charlie. What does God need with a starship, right? So it could be a whole thing of where, the Star Trek kind of thing, where they're pulling them in to like possess them, to send them back out, because you see a lot of that with the Sith possessing items, and like even we've seen it in the Clone Wars with Yoda and Bane a couple times. So I think there's precedent set in Star Wars, at least in the animation, that they could get pretty wild with this stuff. And if sometimes I think we get so focused on one thing that we forget about all these other things. And Dave and those guys are not forgetting about that stuff, because I mean, it's their daily job is to, like, probably like that meme of, what's his name, Charlie Day looking at the screen and it's all like tied together and stuff. Like, that's probably Filoni's office, right? Like, oh my God, like this could go here and that could go there. And so I would love to see all of them in this in one way or another. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. Something is calling out to Balin because he wants to. I mean, he basically wants to reset the cycle of power, right? He talks about it coming and going and things like that, and he wants to reset that. And he talks about a power that's not the Empire. It's not the First Order. It's not that
That's the
simple. It's
Mortis.
bigger and it's stronger and it's more powerful. I don't know if he's going to be strong enough to handle that power. Maybe he ends up getting eviscerated by like,
maybe
and then something like there's
takes
all
over.
kinds of stuff that could happen. There's so much potential for this.
But that's what the Mortis is, though, isn't it? Because it interacts with the living force, but it influences the cosmic force.
Mm-hmm.
When we're done with this discussion, before we stop, I want to talk a little bit about how the High Republic ended without giving anything away, because I think that might influence how you're thinking about the Father, the Son, and the daughter as well. So we'll continue this, and then before we go to sign off, I want to bring up a little bit about that. So.
Yeah. Okay. So the next bit I'll get in with then, and before we go on to that, then Jimmy, is who would you have? And again, I'll put this out to all the listeners and let us know. Please get in touch. Who would you have as your trio? So for me personally, the daughter would be Ahsoka, the son would be Balin, and for me, the father would be the Bendu.
Oh God! Can you imagine?
Because he did say
live action. I'd probably just die.
The Bendu did say that he doesn't take sides or anything like that, even though he sort of did.
I'm the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Bendu.
So that's where I'm going. What about? We'll come to you last, Jimmy, so we can go straight into that subject. Charlie, what about you? Who would you have as your trio? Who you having as the daughter, the son, the father?
Oh, so this might seem a bit of a wild card, but I'm going to go with it. I think it would be super interesting to have Ahsoka as the daughter, Balin as the father, either Balin or like Anakin, like the ghost spirit of Anakin Skywalker, and then have Shin as the son.
Shin is.
Yeah, I forgot about Anakin's Force Ghost being there, and if he could step into that role somehow, like through he's there.
Great.
She sees him there. And I was thinking about something too, Charlie. You brought up Shin being the son. I thought, what happens if Ahsoka becomes the father, because she is like the balance. She, everything we know about her, she's like the balance of the Force.
She's fulcrum.
She becomes
She's
like the center. Balin could be the son, and Sabine could be the daughter. I mean, there's all kinds of potentials to like. I think that you kind of like. It was funny that you and I came up with that. Like, we get so focused on, well, this person's got to be this person, but like the Force doesn't necessarily care who the one in the middle is, right? Like that could easily be.
Yeah.
Tom Baker is 91 years old, by the way, so he's still around, and he still could voice the Bendu, and I would probably die in a hysterical.
I think there's a good chance of a live action Bendu, mate.
That would be
Jimmy and Bendu.
Big time. My first podcast was called Breakfast with the Bendu. We had one episode because we didn't know what we were doing.
Nice.
That's
right, Jimmy,
cute.
Then.
Okay.
Who would you have?
Oh, who would I have? Well, I just kind of said it. I think like Ahsoka, I think, would be the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Like I feel like she becomes, and then we both win, Jack. Right? I get my Bendu.
Yeah.
I get proof that the Bendu is the one in the middle. Not that that's important. But then I think like you could take Sabine and you could take Balin. I think Shin's gonna get like skewered or something. Like, cause she's just a baddie. Like she's the baddie of this episode, like of this group. Like she's the one who wants like traditional power in a sense that she's not thinking bigger like a Jedi or a Sith. She's thinking simple, immediate gratification. So she is being a Sith, I guess, but not like Palpatine or Plagueis or Bane or any of these people. Like she's thinking like immediate gratification. So I think she's going to end up getting like skewered if Abeloth shows up or something, just getting completely like fried by the power or something. So, but yeah, I could see any comment, because my thing too is like, how the hell are they going to get all those people off that planet and make it make sense? You know what I mean? Like you've got 4 big characters, important characters. Now, Shin and Balin are important. They're not as important maybe as like to the fandom as Sabine and Ahsoka, and then look at what it took to get to Pretty in the first place. Like we know the Republic's not going to do that for them. They're just going to leave them there. Even if Mothma wants to do it, like it's not going to happen. So, but That would be some combination of that.
Interesting.
Nice.
So
But
before we go,
please tell us about this High Republic stuff.
all right. So I'm going to do this without trying to spoil things. And I want you guys to think about this like kind of like dyad of the Force. So we kind of got a little bit of hint of it, like a divergence, not a dyad. Sorry, I don't want people to freak out. A divergence in the Force. We saw it in the Acolyte a little bit, with that planet where they were able to create. We get introduced to this place called Planet X. It doesn't have a name. And I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but we'll just put it this way. It is real hard to get there. Real hard. Super difficult. Most time, some people go in. Not everyone comes back. Whatever. I don't want to spoil anything. But some of our oh my God, how am I going to do this without spoiling things? There are some sacrifices made to save the galaxy on this planet, because this planet also operates kind of like the Father, the Son, and the Daughter, where they're so powerful, and like the way that things are working in the books, the way things are happening on this planet are affecting this galaxy, right? So, and there's a dark side and a light side to the planet, and I'm trying not to go too far into it. And then there's sacrifices made similar to what the Father does and what the Father asks of Anakin. And of course, Anakin is selfish and doesn't do it.
Yeah.
The sacrifices are made, and it's heartbreaking, and it's really great. And you kind of saw it coming a little bit, but so you can't think of the Father, the Son, and the Daughter if it's the planet, if it's them, they're stuck there or whatever, because they could have left. We talked about this a little bit. Like, are there more places throughout the galaxies, even in the Star Wars galaxy itself, or Peridia, that like these planets have this much control, or that this Force sensitive, that like, so it's not necessarily the end all be all of the Force, because there seems to be different pockets of it that are canon, because the Father, the Son, and the Daughter are canon. Planet X is canon. What if this is Planet X? You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I don't think, because of the way that Planet X looks and what's on that planet and the creatures that are there. We saw nothing of that. But the reason I bring this up is just like the potential for, like, doesn't have to be like a world ending power. Like, there's planets that are that have this power, that are affected by it, and everything like radiates out from it. So
like a Force sensitive planet.
Yes. So yeah,
that'd be a good storyline, actually, wouldn't it? Someone evil or whatever going around stealing Force life on planets.
And the big thing happens on Kashyyyk, where Kashyyyk actually fights back naturally. Like, the planet itself fights back against the blight.
That's not a bad shout. That.
So I just, because I want people to think. I want people to. I want people to think that I don't want them to get so pigeonholed that like this is an only place that this can happen, because there are other places that things that are similar are happening.
Yeah.
So, and
yeah,
I'm gonna pause for a second. So like that's part of this. Like, don't just, we see the Father, the Son, and the Daughter. Don't get so focused on that you think that's a one and done thing. Like, there's other places for this, like this stuff is happening.
Yeah.
So there's other stories and potentials. Maybe the Dathomir is going to be the next one, or whatever. So anyway, just something for people to think about. I don't want to spoil it too much. Go out and read the High Republic.
What we're saying is there's potential for Force sensitive planets.
Yes, and if you want it spoiled, we have reviewed the book. You can go and listen to it. But I think that's about it for this one.
Yeah. Okay. And it sounds like the perfect thing to end on. So again, just like Jimmy's saying, open it all to the listeners and viewers. Let us know your thoughts, as always, on the episode. Let us know about the Force sensitive planets, and let us know about your views or who you'd like to see as the new trio: the Father, the Daughter, and the Son. If you have any questions or just want your voice heard, then DM us on our socials or send us an email or voice note at exploretheforce@gmail.com. And remember to like this episode, share it with your Star Wars friends and family, and to follow us on all our social media platforms. All you have to do is search Explore the Force, all one word. And if you're watching on YouTube, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to show your support and spread the word around by image as well as voice, then head over to Redbubble and search Explore the Force, where you can purchase unique merchandise. And as always, a massive, massive thank you to everyone interacting with us via our social media, on the Discord, everything. You keep this podcast amazing. And if you want an invite to the Discord, just let us know and we'll invite you to the channel. And one last thing I almost forgot, details for the draft will be pushed out this week, so make sure you're aware and ready to watch me win the fantasy league. Over to you, Jimmy.
All right. Well, finally, you have been listening or you have been watching Explore the Force. And for all of us, especially Charlie, we have spoken. We'll see you guys next week.
We have spoken. She has not listened.
She has not listened to us speaking.